Alright guys, 700R4 check ball location. Some of you guys asked me about check ball locations on 700R4. I have here a 700R4 that's auxiliary valve body transmission, and check ball location, it takes a check ball here. I have a little bit of assembly lube on it, but on the auxiliary valve body, it takes one check ball. And on the valve body, some models have this check ball, some don't. I'm going to explain why. Some don't have it. And it takes a check ball here. This is the main valve body. On earlier 700s, 87 and earlier, or 86 and earlier, it takes a check ball here in this bathtub. If you see here, it looks like a bathtub. I'm going to call it bathtub for ease of explaining. Let's go to the transmission case. Right here on the 3/4 accumulator position, it takes one check ball. I'm going to get a little bit further out. Here we have a captured check ball. Sometimes it wears out and it still falls off. Here in the main case, you have two check balls, and then one check ball here on this bathtub for this model. Sometimes you will find a 5/16 check ball here in this position here, and on the earlier models on this bathtub you will have a check ball as well. So this you may not see it on your model, depending on the year model. Sometimes you won't find it there because it's not needed, and a lot of builders, they just get rid of this check ball. But basically you would have on this auxiliary model valve body, you will have 1, 2, 3, 4 check balls in the case. One is captured, and then we have another one in here that is also captured, and I'm going to show it to you through the side of the servo. There is the little capsule there where the check ball is captured at, and you cannot remove that check ball. So you would have technically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 check balls in the case. Without counting this one, 6 check balls in the case, and 2 check balls in the valve body, and that would be 8 check balls on this auxiliary valve body transmission, and plus the one that you have on the auxiliary valve body. And this is needed. If you don't install this check ball, you're gonna have some issues taking off from stop. It will kind of feel like it will kind of bind in second gear if you don't put it on there. So this is needed. So now the alternative that I've done for years and years, let me get a magnet here right quick. Now I'm going to show you how to read the plate first. Like if you don't know where your check balls go, basically you look for the wear. So on the case side, this separator plate goes in like this. Okay, on the case side, so we flip it over, you see some wear here where the check ball worked, and you would see some wear here as well where the check ball actually worked. Here and here, it's kind of worn out a little bit, and then you would have here the 2 holes. You can see where the check ball is being run in on both holes. Okay, rule of thumb, okay. This applies only for 700R4s. On a bathtub, like this, and like this, and like this, if you have 2 holes, it takes a check ball. If you have a square or 1 hole, it does not take a check ball. Let me show you why. Here we have a square, and we have the bathtub underneath. Where the square is at, it doesn't take a check ball. But if you have 2 holes like this one here, then you would have a check ball underneath. And in this model transmission, and a lot of you guys have been building transmissions for years, probably longer than me, and you have done this before, and it works very, very well. It works actually better than having all the check balls in the transmission. You get rid of these 2 check balls. You eliminate this one, and this one. This one is not needed. This auxiliary valve body transmission will only take this check ball, the capture check ball that's here in the low reverse piston position, and the one that you cannot remove, that capture check ball, that's third exhaust, and the forward accumulator check ball. So these are the only check balls that you can install in the case. Actually, the ones that only fall off will be this one and this one. You install those two check balls in the auxiliary valve body transmission, and I mean, they work beautiful. This is the alternative, but I already showed you where the check balls go on this one. It goes here. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 on auxiliary. And if you read the plate, and if you have 2 holes instead of a square, then it takes a check ball there. You put the spacer plate on the valve body itself, and if you have here, if you have 2 holes here on this bathtub instead of that square, it takes a check ball. And if you see here how this square was pushed out, somebody installed a check ball there. See how it's all worn out? But it does not take a check ball there, since it's a bathtub and it only has one square instead of 2 holes. 2 holes take a check ball. Just remember that. Bathtub, 2 holes check ball, square, no check ball on all 3 bathtubs. So if you have a 83 or 84 model, you can just install, if you have 2 holes on each bathtub, that's the only check balls that you would need to install. You can eliminate this one, that one, the third accumulator, and these 2 check balls, and they work very, very well. Now that's the alternative. Just remember how to read the plate. 2 holes, check ball, a square, no check ball. All right, this is for some of you guys that asked me about check ball locations on 700R4. You have the correct check ball locations and the alternative that actually works very, very well. All right. Okay, before I forget, remember I told you about some models don't have this check ball. Well, you need to read the plate as well for the ones that are not bathtub check balls. And if you see here, this is where the check ball actually goes. And next to the check ball hole location on the separator plate, you have a very small hole. And that's an indication that it takes a check ball there. On some models, you won't have a check ball here, and you won't have that little bitty hole there either. And if you see on where this check ball goes on the separator plate, you will also see a hole. If we go to the case side, I'm going to flip it over. You see the wear here, and you also see the hole corresponding to that check ball, and the wear there, and the hole corresponding to that check ball. And the third accumulator position, you see where the check ball goes, and the hole corresponding with your check ball. Now, if you want to get real technical, if you want to put that check ball back in the valve body, then you have to drill that hole and use your gasket. You know, it's kind of elongated, and to give you like a guidance to where to drill that hole if you want to, or use the alternative and get rid of all the check balls that are not needed. And so there you have it. All right, now I will let you go, and I'm going to continue working on this unit so I can finish it and get this thing out the door. All right, everyone.